What is up, party people? How's it going? I hope you all are enjoying your New Year's. I have a little bit of time here, so I figured we would do our review that I missed because I was busy dealing with the holidays and stuff. It's been a week and a half since the last time we did DCS stuff, so I figure we'll break down the matches, do a quick little review of what happened last week, and then we'll talk about playoffs. One thing to note, Team Slam Shady, they were missing almost their entire team except for Spection, and because of that, I'll talk about a ruling that we made later, because Team Slam Shady had very bad attendance for basically the whole season, and so we kind of punished them in a way because of it, because we feel like the subs that they did get actually, like, maybe inflated their results. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But Team Slam Shady ends up taking down Team Tom right at the beginning. And this was a significant win because if Team Tom won this, they would have secured top 2 seeding, I think. I think they would have, or at least a tiebreaker for top 2 seeding if they won this one. And Team Perrymaster on the other side beats Team Quark. There's a little bit of drama with this one too, but we won't get into it. Team Perrymaster beats Team Quark. They were 2-0 over Quark at the end. And this also kept things interesting for the day because Team Quark was no longer like the definite first place because of this specific match. They, like, even if Tom lost this one, Quark losing this one kept the race for first place open. We have Copel versus Team Lioness. Copel wins, and I think with this, no, they hadn't secured playoffs yet because Team Vlumflex also wins. Copel wins, and they have a big performance from Lux. The last time we will see Lux for this season because we are limiting who can sub for teams for playoffs. You can only have somebody that would be like a round 3 or lower sub for your team. So, hopefully Copel, well, from what I understand, Copel has Prince subbing in for them for this weekend, so they'll be fine. Because, who was it? Thymos? Thymos has just, like, gone to MIA. We haven't heard anything or seen him post anywhere in, like, 4 weeks. In the Discord, at least. So, unfortunately, it looks like they'll be subbing Prince in for Thymos for playoffs. And then on the other side, Team Vloneflex, a completely new rebuilt team. They had to go 2-0 this weekend. They win their first match against Team Pickmans. It came down to the very last stock. If you have some time, I highly recommend watching Prince's run here. Like, when, I mean, this whole crew battle is very cool, but I know if I tell somebody to go watch a whole crew battle, they're not going to. But I highly recommend checking out Prince's last 2 games. He also made the top 5 plays for the week. It was such a tense ending here. Anyway, Vlumflex wins and keeps their playoff dreams alive. Over here on the other side, Team Tomlet loses to Team Quark. Drewish, a new social distance demons champion, coming in this weekend. Team Quark didn't even have to come out for this one. They're just so stacked. They secure first seed by beating Team Tom here, and like, they definitely deserve it. There's no question in my mind that the results are skewed anyway incorrectly for Team Quark. They're definitely the number 1 seed and the team to beat in playoffs this weekend. Team Perrymaster, another insane run by Perrymaster, just going off. He comes into the last game, has only 1 stock left. He has to 3-0 Z-Fan, and he does it. And the ending of this one made the top 5 plays as well. Highly recommend checking it out, especially if you like watching Ryu. He went Ryu for this whole set. It was incredible. Just completely nuts. And then our last games of the weekend, Team Copel versus Team Vlumflex. This would have, if Team Vlumflex won this, they would have had a chance for a tiebreaker against Team Copel. But Copel made sure that wouldn't happen with an absolute legendary run, taking 11 stocks in one crew battle. Just a complete domination of Team Flumflex. And then on the other side, perhaps the most interesting result of the entire day, Team Lioness versus Team Pickmans. Pickman's on like an 8-game losing streak or something. They're down. Jahaira has to come in 3 versus 8. And he does it. And he freaking does it. This also made the top 5 plays. The ending between Jahaira and Kevy. Just completely playing spoiler here right at the very end of the day. Taking down Team Lioness. Team Flumflex and Team Pickmans end up eliminated from the competition. Team Copel and Team Lioness, I think Copel ended up in 5th and Lioness got 6th seed. And you'll notice Lioness is only 1 win behind the other 3 teams here. And interestingly, Team Lioness would have had a winning record against these 3 teams. So if they beat Team Pickmans, Team Lioness would have been the 2nd seed. But instead they ended up 6th. So that match, that losing to Jahaira at the end was like such a gigantic swing for them. They went from being 2nd seed if they won that to being 6th for playoffs. Crazy. Team Perrymaster actually ended up securing 2nd place after playing a tiebreaker with Team Tom. And what we ended up deciding for Team Slam, because they ended up having subs for so much of their season, that even though Team Slam had a tied record with these other 2 teams, that we gave them the lowest possible seeding for where they would end up. Because, I don't know, we wanted to make it a little fair, because it felt like they kind of cheated to get some of their wins in a way by having players that were much better than the players they were subbing out. So yeah, Slam I think is 5th seed or 4th seed. Yeah, let's just go look at the playoffs. So we have Team Slam Shady versus Team Copel in the quarterfinals. And Team Tom versus Team Lioness. Yeah, so Tom got 3rd. This is 3rd versus 6th. And 4th versus 5th here. And then the winners go on to play Team Quark. The winner between Slam and Copel goes on to play Quark. And the winner between Tom and Lioness goes on to play Perrymaster. Quarterfinals is going to happen simultaneously on Pinoy Knight's stream and my stream. And semifinals is going to be simultaneous as well. And then 3rd place and grand finals will be all on the main stream on my stream. And yeah, we might go a little slower just so we have a little bit more time to talk about the results and stuff. I know usually like we get one match over and we're like, all right, let's go for the next one. Because when we're trying to do the whole weekend, like letting one fall behind, as you guys have experienced, can like really set off the whole weekend if you aren't able to keep the schedule. So, it should be a very exciting weekend. All of these teams, Team Copel, even though they have like the lowest results, they are like so dangerous. If you can't take Copel down, he can just end your whole team, as we saw with that 11 stock run this last weekend. And then over here, Team Tom versus Team Lioness. This is interesting because Lioness got the 6th seed, but like they did so good in the 2nd round robin that it's hard to tell if they're really the 6th best team. So Team Tom is in a kind of tough spot here. If you're looking at these, like who to play in semifinals, I think you definitely want to be playing Perrymaster in semifinals rather than Team Quark. I don't think anybody would argue with that. And then we're doing payout to 3rd place and 1st and 2nd. That's the playoff setup. If you guys are interested, we also have a stat breakdown. We have added a round robin 2 stat breakdown. And I know last time we did this, I had like I did the whole review on the stat breakdown, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I just didn't have the time or energy to go through and do all of that again. But you guys are welcome to look at it yourselves. We have just round robin 2, and then we have full season stats. The most notable thing in the full season stats, Copel, the number 1 most dangerous player in the game, Jeems, the number 2, and Perrymaster, number 3. Other players, like the Bows is also very dangerous. Cork is probably nerfed by his team just being so strong. Like, his results could probably be higher if he had to go in situations where he needed to take more stocks. But he doesn't, so his stats are a little lower. Another fun little fact here, we did stocks lost per team. So this kind of shows like how dangerous your team is. And even though Team Vlomflex didn't make playoffs, and Team Copel was one of the lower seeds of playoffs, they have, like, when they won, were some of the most dominant wins, because they have the second and third, like, tied for second lowest stocks lost, even despite both of them having losing records getting into playoffs, which is pretty crazy. Sets where they win, they were like going insane. Like Vlomflex taking 8 stocks, Copel taking 11 stocks, you know, stuff like that. So their wins were these very, very dominant wins. But like Team Cork is the number 1, so that's not surprising. They had the least amount of losses, so they were, you know, their average is really low. But some of these other teams, like Team Slam or Team Perrymaster, oddly enough, has the second highest stock loss, but they also got second seed by the end of the season. The only team with more stock loss than them are Team Pickmans and Team Lioness. Like, it's pretty interesting stuff. I think like some of these stats are pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to see how you did or how your team did, you can go through and find your team's players and everybody's stats in here. I think that was all I really wanted to talk about this weekend. I hope everybody shows up. Oh yeah, let's go over the schedule just one more time, because it is different from our regular weekend. Where are we at? So we are going to start quarterfinals at 3 p.m. Saturday. Give you guys a little bit more time to, you know, wake up, eat breakfast. I can't remember, yeah, it must have been the last weekend, like week 7, where Fraudit was like, thanks KJez, because of you, I didn't eat lunch until midnight tonight, because he, like, you know, played in DCS and then signed up for Social Distance Demons and then made, like, almost top 8 in Social Distance Demons, and then he ate food. So you've got plenty of time to eat lunch here, and then if you make a finals, there will be a small break between semis and grands. I don't know if you care about that or not. Obviously, if you're one of the teams that got a bye, you don't play until 4, but all of this is happening Saturday. It is a one-day tournament. Everything should hopefully wrap up by 7, and then we have Social Distance Demons that night starting at 9 p.m. because I wanted to have time to make dinner for myself before we ran the tournament. So it will be a late night one, and I hope you all show up. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys all tune in tomorrow and everybody wakes up in time for their tournament. You guys have a good one.